The devastation from that train explosion in Quebec is becoming apparent tonight. 5 people are confirmed dead, but police say that number is likely to rise. Dozens are still missing. Quebec's fire service has released the first images from inside the evacuation zone. Stone chimneys are all that remain of some homes, and the cafes and shops that once lined the main street have been reduced to rubble. Today, the Prime Minister toured the damage. We have 2 reports from the town of Lac-Megantic. Let's begin with Mike Armstrong. Mike.
Well, Robin, this is a town very much still in shock, with just about everyone here wondering how many people they know have been lost. One person we spoke to this morning summed it up. He said that basically that train turned the downtown core into a crematorium.
C'est complètement malade.
Local resident Jean-Sébastien Jacques' first impulse was to shoot images of the inferno. He stood and watched until... After that second explosion, he ran, feeling the heat behind him all the way. There is no question, he says, dozens were killed.
C'était toute la ville qui était en feu, là.
He says the downtown was like a sea of fire. There was nothing that could be done. Now, while journalists ask about the death toll, people here worry about names. This will hurt.
Everybody's going to know people.
Firefighters are still busy today. They've changed tactics. Yesterday they were throwing water. Today a mixture of water and a special foam.
It's a mess. We lost great buildings. The historical buildings that we had in Lac-Megantic disappeared.
This is also an ecological disaster. 800 tons of crude oil was dumped into the lake and the Chaudière River. 10 communities along the river draw their drinking water from it. This spot here is about 2 kilometers down the river from Lac-Megantic, and you can see how much of the oil is bunched up in this area. The smell is very, very strong. And if you look, it's really bad. The company that owns the track and the locomotive, Montreal Main and Atlantic Railway, says the train was parked Friday night. Now, this photo was snapped at about 11:30 outside the neighboring town of Nantes. There was a fire on the locomotive. Firefighters put it out and everyone thought things were okay. Well, at some point, it started rolling down the line by gravity into the town. Today, 8 tankers that were pulled back out of Megantic after the crash are sitting on the tracks about 14 kilometers away. Now, we were shocked to see this morning that this locomotive was left wide open. There are big questions about what happened. The Transportation Safety Board is investigating and eager to recover the locomotive's black box. They are not alone in wanting answers. People are having trouble understanding, says this local resident. Why was the train left unattended?
Now, the company put out a press release, a statement late this afternoon that gives a bit of a hypothesis. Basically, we knew that the train had been left overnight. We knew that it was idling, and we also knew that was the standard operating procedure, by the way. We also knew that that fire was put out by firefighters. Now, the company says the train was shut down, possibly because of putting out that fire, and as a result of shutting down that locomotive, that may have released the air brakes that were keeping it in place. Robin?
Mike, 2,000 people had to leave their homes yesterday. That's about a third of the town. What's the latest on that?
Well, most of them have gone back. The big problem yesterday was smoke. It's not the big problem today. We know that 550 people were registered at the shelter. 163 spent the night there. But one of the interesting things is that the hospital really isn't that busy. There haven't been that many injuries, and you hear it from people all over. They say there's no in between. People either got away, they ran away from the flames and they were fine, or they were burned alive.